Hello everyone, nice to have you all back for another episode of our 107 channel. Today's topic, electro-hydraulic actuator with our KE-Jetronic. Symptoms: cold start problems, no instant reaction when pressing on the gas pedal, hesitant or inconstant acceleration, power drop out of the blue. How to change this component, explaining basics, functions. Right after introduction. Before we start, a word. What is this component controlling and regulating? This part is controlling pressure of the lower chamber and how much fuel is to be mixed with air later on. The sensors can process informations such as engine cold, engine hot, full throttle, and therefore adjust the quantity of fuel passing towards the upper chamber to assure a smooth and constant idle, for example. How to check functioning of the EHA was in a video in our Jetronic chapter. This rather complex series explaining how these components work together like an organized orchestra. In the other video, all the data such as resistance parameters and charts of voltage, which your multimeter should show in different steps of testing your EHA. Here we go. These two fuel lines need to be removed before you can reach and unbolt the component. These two bolts here, they hold it in place. This part is under fuel pressure. So, before removing these two fuel lines, I disconnect the fuel line right here at the cold start valve to depressurize the system, avoiding spillage of fuel all over the engine. Before unbolting the component, we check resistance. Connect your multimeter clips to the two pins of the component. Engine being shut off. 19.2 is perfect. Sometimes it shows 25 ohms as well, which is fine. Don't worry if readings alter a little between 18 and 25 on your display, it's okay. As mentioned before, there is a video on how to check resistance and parameters of the EHI. Let us now disconnect the fuel lines. We release fuel pressure right here at the cold start valve. 2 wrenches size 13. Take 2 because you need to counter the winding of the wrench with another one to avoid damage of the cold start valve. See what I mean? Just do it this way. Put a cloth underneath to absorb the petrol. Actually, a good way to quit smoking in the workshop. A lot of fuel pressure actually. I now disconnect the 2 fuel lines which are being bolted to the fuel divider. Fuel pressure is gone, therefore no mess, no spillage. Enough room to move. Let us unbolt the EHI. Half of a drop of fuel dripping out. No need to mention that we released pressure before. This is what it looks like from the side, which is being attached to the fuel divider. Some cleansing necessary before changing the gaskets. These 2 gaskets here sitting in a notch at the side of the fuel divider, they will be replaced for sure. Everything is included in this repair kit. They have hardened over time and have lost their sealing properties for sure. A little bench demonstration to do a reset, because even if you buy this part new, run out of the box is only in your imagination. They need to be calibrated to 0. You do not know if someone has been fiddling with it, since it is regulating the difference pressure between the 2 chambers. It has to be put to 0. The in-head screw hidden underneath the top screw is the key to your smooth idle. There's a thumb rule: the deeper the in-head screw is sitting in the housing, the richer your mixture will be. The more by some turns it is closer to the surface, the leaner your mixture is. The best, let me say, position in millimeters below top of housing is 6.8 to 6.5 millimeters, being nota bene measured from the rim of the in-head screw, not from the bottom of the in-head. The deeper you turn the screw into the housing, the richer the mixture gets. Do not forget, please. This is the repair kit. 2 gaskets in a diameter of a 6 mm. Make sure they are petrol resistant gaskets, otherwise they get resolved in no time. They disappear and you have caused a mess under the bonnet. Only use gaskets designed for this very job here. Let us get to the crucial part. This here is a protective screw, unbolted. There is a copper washer underneath. Do not lose it. Deep inside you see that in-head screw. You need an end wedge with 2 mm unbolted. Later we reset all to 0. This is it, and 1 mm back from the tip is a gasket sitting in a notch. Gasket is shot for sure. Please see picture at your left side, a watchmaker job after some 40 years. Now we need to calibrate it precisely. 6.5 mm is a leaner mixture, 7.2 mm is a rather rich mixture. As mentioned before, you cannot avoid this calibration job. If you buy it, take it out of the box. You must calibrate the component, since they do not do it for you at the factory. Besides, some were pulled from scrap cars, therefore you need to calibrate it for sure and certain. There is no way around it. This is no plug and play. No way around it. Get it done. If there is some fine adjustment to be done, do it with another component. I repeat, do not slide into the very bottom of the in-head, but to the top rim of the screw, meaning the top edge of the in-head. Sorry to be a pain in your exactly that. I'm measuring a 6.8 on the caliper. That is just okay, that's fine. Now they delivered a new copper spacer. Fine with me. I'll use it, put it in place, bolt in the protective screw on top. Replace the 2 O-rings. Take the screws on bench session is over, back to the car. Back to the engine bay, been giving this here a little cleaning as you see. Sliding the new O-rings into their seats right here in that notch. Done and mounted. Torque for these 2 screws is around 3 newtons. If worst case scenario there is a fuel leak around this component, provided you have installed everything properly, O-rings, torque, then you have a minor crack, a hairline crack in the housing. You need to replace it, no way around it. You cannot mend it. I now connect the fuel lines. What did we accomplish? Change of O-rings, reset of calibration, screw in perfect position. Even when you buy a new one, Bosch or another provider of a used component does not calibrate the component. You need to do it. Run out of the box does not work here, no plug and play. But you can always do some fine adjustment once it is installed. It requires a steady hand. You can also readjust the CO2 screw, provided other parameters match with its tolerances. Have a look at the other video checking voltage and parameters of your IHA for some guidance. Hope you have liked it, hope it was helpful, would love to see you around. The next time, bye bye everyone.